Several decades ago, up at the Wolf River Society, I made the statement that I thought that Richard Nixon, Henry Kissinger, and Zbigniew Brzezinski were the three deepest thinkers about American foreign policy alive in the 20th century. Now that we are 10 years and more into the 21st century, I'm thinking about adding Fareed Zakaria to that list. Attached is a recent Sunday morning conversation between Brzezinski and Zakaria, which I have edited to exactly illustrate my point.
We don't need to go to war. And we have to make that very clear to our Israeli friends. We're not going to go to war. They're not going to go to war by flying over our airspace over Iraq. We're not going to support them. If they do it, they will be on their own. The consequences will be theirs, because the price we'll all pay if they start a massive war, which the Iranians interpret as being done with our connivance, will be disastrous for us in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in the terms of oil, stability in the Middle East more generally. My approach would be somewhat differently shaped or defined than the one we're pursuing right now. I would take the position that we will support anything that the Turks and the Saudis jointly contrive, because they're our friends in the region, they're responsible, they're very interested, and they have the capacity to play a decisive role. We can then back them if they do it. But I certainly wouldn't get out front.
Isn't what's happening in Syria, though, a kind of proxy or Cold War with the Iranians supporting the regime and the Saudis increasingly supporting the opposition?
Yes, it's even more complicated because the Israelis also have an interest. And they certainly don't have an interest in a strong, united Syria again re-emerging. Although that's rather unlikely these days in view of what has happened. But we shouldn't be careless in any comparisons between Assad and Gaddafi. Gaddafi was far more vulnerable than Assad is. I think it's far from clear yet that Assad can in fact be overthrown.
In this fall's election, you still prefer Obama to the alternatives?
Without a question, without a question. I mean, look at those Republican debates. I must say, I literally feel embarrassed as an American when I see those people orate. One of them sounds like a medieval Savonarola. Another one is trying to explain why he has some of his wealth located in the Cayman Islands. Then someone else would go back to 1780. And then there's someone who is using his credentials as a repudiated Speaker of the Congress to be president. I mean, this is just embarrassing.